Welcome back to another Anime Rambles. Today we're going to be talking about My Hero Academia and Talentless Nana and the world building and what it means for My Hero Academia and a world that My Hero Academia could have been. This is mainly a thought experiment, but it should be a fun video to talk about because both series are remarkably similar in terms of the world that they have built around each other. With one slight tweak to either world, they could easily end up being exactly the same. So, spoilers for both series if you haven't seen them. I highly recommend checking out both of them. If you like the world set up in My Hero Academia, but you want a darker tone, I highly recommend the Talentless Nana. I have a video talking about it if you want to check that out. It's kind of old now, even though it was only a month ago, but the channel's been developing quite quickly. Anywho, so, My Hero Academia takes place in a world where 80% of the population has quirks, powers that they use to do either heroic work, villainy, or nothing. It all depends on their own personal mindsets and how they want to use their powers for either good or evil or whatever. Talentless Nana has a very different approach to this same concept. The power system in Talentless Nana is called talents, which are exactly the same as quirks. Let's establish what quirks and talents are to put it out. Who is a good example? Let's take Todoroki. Todoroki has an ice and fire quirk. If he uses too much fire, he overheats. If he uses too much ice, he freezes. Therefore, he can use both his talents to counterbalance each other. Same thing with Bakugo. Bakugo sweats nitroglycerin. He can explode his hands. If he does it too much, he feels physical pain from overexertion. If Deku punches too hard, he breaks his bones. Talentless Nana, similar concepts to each one. There's a character who has a talent to time travel. He can only go back a certain amount and he's exhausted every time he does it, and he can only go back to the place where he's currently standing. And if he makes eye contact with another character in the past, he immediately returns to the present. Let's talk about another character. Let's talk about this character. This character from Talentless Nana is a necromancer who brings back her dead boyfriend. Well, actually, not even her boyfriend. She brings back dead people, but she can only bring back dead people to at night. Here's a person. She can only bring back dead people at night, and that is her limitation. So quirks and talents are very, very powerful, but they typically have a downside or a flaw that can be exploited if you know what to look for. Now, both Talentless Nana and My Hero Academia are shows with people who go to school and they all have powers. But the worlds in both series have developed in very unique ways, which have facilitated how they work in the present, in our current storylines. Now, I believe Talentless Nana and My Hero Academia are right about the same level. People just started developing these quirks or talents. For my own fucking sanity, we're just going to call both shows quirks, and I'll refer to the shows in kind. The quirks in each shows have awakened very similarly. They just started appearing in the world, and then there was people with talents, and things started to go haywire. Now, they took two very different approaches towards controlling the people who have these quirks and talents. One society developed heroes, and the other society recruited members as soldiers. Why is this distinction so important? What makes someone a hero and what makes someone a soldier? On the surface, it seems pretty much the same. Like, oh, what the hell is the difference? Well, there's a huge difference. Heroes are celebrities. They're people that the public sees and adores. Their whole reputation depends on public perception. Soldiers, on the other hand, do most of their work from the shadows. They're almost never in the limelight, and their names are typically not learned about until long after they're out of active duty, typically in books or movies. They are never in the limelight. They do their most of their work because that is their job and nothing less. Now, why would these change the worlds they're in so drastically? Well, let's talk about a world with heroes. If you have a world with heroes, the public sympathizes with what the heroes are doing. Even though massive destruction happens in each battle, especially in the overhaul and fucking this dude, um, all for one fights, the public knows that the heroes are doing their best. They care and sympathize with these heroes. They know that they're trying their best. It's broadcast on TV. They know the personalities of these heroes. They know, they feel like they know who they are personally. They know they're doing everything in their power to protect humans, to protect people just like them. Now, when it comes to a military doing the same thing, all they know is that the military said they would take care of the problem and there was tons of destruction. Now, imagine if the same amount of destruction happened in the All Might versus All for One fight, but this time the Japanese military said they would take care of it, and a whole 20 by 20 block radius got destroyed. The problem was taken care of, but so many people lost their homes. People would not be happy about this outcome. Not even a little bit. They wouldn't blame the military because the military is doing all they can. What they would blame, though, was the quirks themselves. They would say, if only people didn't have these fucking quirks, they destroy blocks, and the military uses it too, which causes even more destruction. They would directly blame the problem. And of course, they would have absolute right too, especially with all the villains we see in both My Hero Academia and not so much Talentless Nana because it doesn't highlight on that facet of the world. But imagine if there were no heroes in My Hero Academia. Everyone who is a hero was employed by the military, and these villains are still going wild, destroying everything, causing so many problems. People would not be happy. The hero system is a fantastic fix for this problem because it brings people with the same conditions into the limelight. It makes them likable. It makes them seem like a person that is protecting them. They wouldn't blame quirks because the heroes have quirks and they're using them to protect us. They would simply blame the villains and the actual cause of the problems. Typically, if I have to use a more political example, it's a similar argument to saying guns don't kill people, people kill people with guns. Guns are only in the hands of the military, the police. So when people get shot, we blame the guns. We don't blame the people themselves. I don't want to get political, so that's where I'm going to end this example. Um, but let's think about like these two heroes. These are the two top heroes in the world in My Hero Academia, in Japan. These heroes act as beacons, beacons of popularity. People know these heroes. They feel like they're someone they can look up to. You're not going to find faults in the people you look up to unless they really, really mess up in a bad way. And even if they do, you still would blame the individual heroes because there's so many. Now, in Talentless Nana, they took a very different direction. Let's analyze perspective of militarized talents and soldiers. The huge problem with this is the fact that they're anonymous. All you know is the military is using the same problem that that is being caused. Let's go back to these two. Let's per se say that they're causing a ton of problems. They're killing a lot of people. They're stealing a lot of goods. Blah 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 blah. This is a problem, and when it gets resolved, there's not going to be any one individual who can take credit for this. Instead, it's going to be the military. So people are going to say, the military is wasting our budget trying to take down these people. If only people didn't have quirks at all, because all of them are using it for bad things, and they're so incredibly powerful. It's basically like giving a grenade to a child, pretty much. It's the same situation with Talentless Nana. So instead of having heroes to make a fix for it, they simply take all of their problem children who have these quirks and they put them on an island and they simply put in someone like Nana. In the show, Nana is someone who pretends to have a talent. Instead, she tries to learn what the other's talents are and uses it to start murdering each one of her classmates because of this corrupted world she grew up in. Imagine if Coda, the kid who Muscular was trying to kill, that Deku protected him. Imagine if instead of Coda watched his family die, who were heroes, let's say they're just soldiers. He watched his family die to a villain who has, a quirk. And then he gets saved by soldiers later from another villain with a quirk. He wouldn't blame villains, he would just blame these quirks. And that is a similar situation to what Nana's in now. And Nana takes this hatred, she balls it up, and she uses it to just start picking off her own classmates. My Hero Academia is one change in the world from going from something that is light and cheery to something that is very, very dark, to where the world is united in hatred against the people who are born with quirks. They're not special, they're abominations, someone who can end them in a single punch or a flame blast or something so uh, menial to end life. It's a great example on the world building in these two stories. How one change can completely change a story and give you something that has such a different rhythm, so such a different plot thread that creates something so different and unique from something that is such a similar, like everyday premise. Two shows that are incredibly similar world building wise, but have turned out such different and interesting plots with just a single twist on a knob. Anyway, tell me who your favorite character is in the comments from My Hero Academia. I'd love to hear your answers and give me a sentence why. It could be anything as simple as like I like the way they're written or they have nice hair color. Who cares? Leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.